everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome back to Board Game Breakfast. What a week! Well, not really what a week, what a month! Guess what? Just in case you thought that this month is going to be normal, tomorrow someone's going to call you and tell you there's some event you didn't know about scheduled for later next week in a very inconvenient time slot. But while you have to go to that event, otherwise you'll risk offending people, we will be doing stuff here on our channel. So we have a lot of things to get through. Let's get started. First of all, we want to say thanks to some of our Kickstarter backers. I want to say thank you to Jeff Nagel, to Thomas Henriksen, to Amber Grimoire from Grimoire Games and Mini Steel, to Anders Burnland, and to Dagmar Capel and the Edinburgh Board Gamers in Scotland. Dagmar Capel, I should have said. And Sebastian Mawasi. So thank you all for backing the Dice Tower. I also want to say thank you to Pandasaurus. We have a contest from Pandasaurus. So this is for bundles of games. This is to the USA only. This is, you get to get the game face-to-face, the game, quick and easy, and the game. That's it. And an illusion. So the bundle of games, fantastic, all small, great games. So how many players, you need to answer this question. You need to email us at contests@dicetower.com and answer us, how many players is a game face-to-face play? I'm feeling a flashback here. In the subject line, put the word presents, as spelled below. Because presents can be spelled multiple ways. I am a little punch happy here. All right, also, I want to let everyone know that the Dice Tower retreat dates have been set for next year. It's going to be September 14th through the 18th. It's going to be at the Doubletree in Miami, and it's going to be fantastic and wonderful. Registration for that will open up sometime early next year. I think February or March. People who came to past retreats will get first chance to come back, but there's always room for new and more people. So block those dates off in your calendar if you want to come and play. If you want to sign up for something right now, though, the cruise, Dice Tower East, and Dice Tower West are all open with registration for all of them. Even though our room block is gone for Dice Tower East, you can still get rooms there and still come and join us. Also, if you backed us on our Kickstarter, update your address on GameFound today. We're closing this system on Wednesday because we are ready, well, we're almost ready to ship things on Kickstarter. So yay. All right, what else is happening here? I forgot, but now I remembered. Winter Spectacular is 1 week from today. Folks, we have 700 top 10 lists. Okay, it's actually like 20. Maybe there's more than 20. It's between 20 and 30 top 10 lists. There's a lot of top 10 lists. I know this because I've recorded many of them already, but we have several big ones. We're also doing, we're playing some games live. We are going to be doing Foursquare reviews live. We've never done that before, and all kinds of goodies and things. Hopefully you'll enjoy them, along with contests and more. It's going to be the most wintry, best spectacular we've done, since it's our second one we've done. But hey, don't get caught up in the details. So I think I've got everything, right? We got a contest. We said thank you to Kickstarter backers. We talked about the Dice Tower Retreat and other conventions that are coming up. And shipping for our Kickstarter is happening soon. And yes, someone said I thought the audio stopped for a second, but it was just Tom's brain. That's correct. Let me get my brain back into gear here while we listen to these contributors.
Hi, it's Taryn.
And Stella from Meeple University and the Dice Tower. Today we have oldie but goodie, second print, chaotic party game, Camel Up.
Yeah, I wish I could sit here and tell you the story of the great comeback of the purple camel, because when we played this the other day, the purple camel was very poor, very weak indeed, and it didn't get off the starting line in the first 2 rounds at all, and then it had one measly movement forward after that, and it was so far behind the others. But then the others just kept they were unable to get to the finish line. The booing token kept going down on the last space, and this huge stack of camels just kept getting booed off the finish line.
Yeah.
It was perfectly set up for purple for that to keep happening and purple to race through to victory, but no, it lost by like 10 squares.
That's too far. There's no way. Like throughout the game, like in the middle of the game, I just lost hope. Like I just bet on purple to lose. which I won because of that.
As everyone.
I didn't win, but like that's the right prediction as everyone else.
Just imagine how good the story could have been.
But still, okay, what's your story for Camel Up? The first edition or the second edition? I always like Camel Up. It will always like get to the table when we have this number of players, 8 players up to 8. Have you played it? If you haven't, I would highly recommend it. This is the game, one of the games that keep coming up and get played, even though it's been a while.
Yep.
So hopefully you'll get to play one day.
Hey everyone, how you doing? I'm Clara and I'm back talking about a board game. This one I played physically and digitally, and the game is, well, I'm stealing a little bit from Tom's backdrops, but it's Champions of Midgard. So I have been playing Champions of Midgard, I've been playing it online, and I recently got to play it physically. This is my friend's copy. Now, I will say I've been playing it on Boardgame Arena, and I know it's in alpha at the moment, so it's not on general release on Boardgame Arena. But I was playing it there a lot, and I was thinking to myself, I think I'd really enjoy playing this in person. So Champions of Midgard, it's a worker placement, and you're collecting dice, which are your warriors, and then you use those warriors to go and fight monsters. And maybe you'll kill those monsters, but a bunch of those warriors are going to die. And I know that some people get a little frustrated with that, but I know that a lot of people rate the expansion, Valhalla, because you get to reuse those dice in different ways. So I think that's really interesting, but I've not played with the expansion yet, so I'm just talking about the base game. Now, I will say I've played this, like I say, I've played this on Boardgame Arena, and I really enjoy playing it, and it's nice, but I think sometimes I'm not always as aware of what's going on, but I like the fact that the upkeep's already done. You know, you don't have to put out the resources each time. But to be honest, when I was playing it, it didn't feel too laborious. It was pretty quick to put out, pretty quick to take down. And there is something nice about you're collecting these dice and then you're rolling them. And that's where you sometimes lose, you know, the beautiful tactile nature of a board game when you're playing digitally. You're not rolling them. So I'm happy to play this again online digitally, and look forward to it when it comes out on BGA. But I am so pleased to have played Champions of Midgard in the flesh, and I am looking forward to Valhalla. And until next time, take care, and until next time, bye.
All right, so taking a look at games that came out 20 years ago, today we're talking about the American Civil War. Now, this game came out from Eagle Games. This was before they combined with Griffin Games to make Eagle Griffin Games. This was back when they were first starting, and back then they were essentially plastic figures in a box. I don't remember if the American Civil War came out first or if War Age of Imperialism came out first, but they had a lot of similar aspects to them. Oh, it looks like they came out the same year. All right, well, never mind then. But I mean, I don't know which one came out first that year. But the American Civil War is about, shockingly, the American Civil War. But it comes with tons of pieces. I remember when this came out 20 years ago, they were selling it at computer stores. All right, it was sold. I saw it at Staples. Anyhow, you went in, and the American Civil War is full of plastic pieces. So many plastic pieces they made for this game that Eagle is still occasionally you can find these plastic pieces just for sale online. So you have a bunch of plastic pieces. Oh yeah, we're playing Army Men. The game itself, though, is much more involved than that. So this is kind of a transitional period. Before the American Civil War and War Age of Imperialism, there was Axis and Allies and the Game Master series. And there wasn't much more when it came to lighter war games. Everything else was using chits and complicated tables and things like that. There was some lighter games, but they still were using chits. This was one of the first things. It was like, hey, we can have a toy factor as a game. The board was one of the biggest problems here. In the American Civil War, though, a good 1/3 to 1/2 of the board never gets used. And you have troops everywhere in the rest of it. So they needed to redo the board. And then the game was kind of a little complex in that if you had a battle with 6 or more units, you were playing on a side tactical board. Now, that's the best part of this game. And I think they use the same system in War Age of Imperialism, where you have a battle with the left and central and right flank. And if any of these things fell, you lost the battle. So there were some interesting facets there. Other than that, though, just total random move around, roll dice. There was some political maneuvering. The South is definitely at a disadvantage, as they are in real life. The North, at a certain point, can declare emancipation, which helps them out. The South can declare that at any point, which is weird historically, but they could have done it. But when it happens, the South loses a bunch of states that just leave them. But then Europe is more willing to help the South when that happens. So it's kind of like an alternate history thing that you can do, and maybe have been done by a player who played the game and then consistently lost doing it. This is a bygone product of its era. It's 240 minutes, it says here. That's probably true. It's 2 to 4 players, although it's one of those games that's really 2 players. I've given this one a ranking of 5.5. I enjoyed it at the time, but it just hasn't held up well at all. There's just too much. I like the toy factor of it for sure, although I think it could have been done better. I wouldn't mind seeing a reproduced 2.0 version of this that's just redone. That cuts that playing time in half, keeps that tactical board because that was neat, keeps the plastic miniatures because that was neat, makes the main board better. But yeah, it's certainly one, if you see it, it might be worth your money to buy a used copy or a discount copy of it just to get all those pieces. But other than that, this is 20 years ago and you can feel it. So that's the American Civil War from Eagle Games.
Hi everybody,
Hello, we are Ryan and Bethany.
from Ryan and Bethany Boardgame Reviews.
Today we're talking about Animal Upon Animal, but this is kind of the Christmas edition, a Christmas stacking game. In this game, it's just like the regular Animal Upon Animal. You are stacking up all these animals based off of the way this die roll tells you to. It gets more and more complex the higher it gets. This is a game that you can play with the kids, and they are uncannily good at it, defying all the laws of physics and gravity.
It's really silly. It's actually just ridiculous how our 4-year-old just like haphazardly, blah, and you're like, huh, it's gonna fall. It didn't. Like,
but then you
all
have
the
to
time.
follow it up and place on top of
Yes.
this crazy thing. It's imbalanced.
It's just, and the thing is, even when she does knock it down, because she still knocks it down more than everybody else, for some, it just doesn't even affect her, right? So that's a great thing about Animal Upon Animal in general. When the things do get knocked down, it's fun, right? It's fun to see everything topple down. And
Losing
the kids,
doesn't matter.
Yeah, the kids aren't affected by that. And of course, I love the little chunky pieces for this, the tree and the sleds and the little animals. I think they're adorable.
Yeah, the holiday themed bits kind of brings, breathes new life into this game for us. We haven't really been playing a whole lot of the regular Animal Upon Animal lately,
Yeah.
but around the holidays, this is coming out almost every time. It is a huge hit, and it is it's just a ton of fun. This is a game that is a great equalizer between all family members,
Yeah.
and the more you think about it, the worse you're going to do.
Yes.
This is a game that we recommend with families, especially with younger kids, this holiday season.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. This is Ryan. I'm Bethany. Hoping you have a happy, healthy breakfast.
Bye, everybody.
guys.
What is up? My name is Matthew McCack, and I'm here with my brother, Justin Maycack.
Hey everybody.
This is Smashing Buttons and Slamming Cards. This is a segment where I talk about a video game I love, and I connect it to a board game I love. And this week, I'm going to have Justin talk about a video game.
Yeah, so the video game is Dirt Rally 2.0. It's a rally game, so you're driving rally cars through various terrain. It could be, normal cement roads, and then it could be dirt roads. It could be iced over roads, and you're trying to, hit the corners perfectly. You're listening to your co-driver to see what turns are coming up
cool.
next.
That's cool.
You gotta hit the handbrake at the right time. You got good drift going.
Nice.
All that kind of stuff. You gotta be able to handle just these crazy things that are thrown at you, and you want to have the fastest time over a course.
Cool. So I want to connect that game to Rallyman GT, specifically because what you were talking about with the dirt, what's it called?
The terrain,
The video game.
Dirt Rally 2.0.
Dirt Rally 2.0 because of the turns and the curves that you gotta hit
Yeah.
to make sure that everything's perfect, because in Rallyman GT you're rolling these dice and you could do a little bit of a push your luck,
Yeah.
but if you plan it out properly you can really hit the turns nicely, because you have to make sure, like, what numbers are you putting in front, or are you going to push your luck, are you going to press the, what is it, push the metal to the pedal,
To the pedal. There you go.
pedal to the metal, actually.
Yeah. Pedal to the metal. Yeah.
There we go.
right.
Anyway, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like, you can check out our channel called Room 51. We'll catch you next time.
All right, so this week is a preparation for the Winter Spectacular, but we still have some content for you. I'll have my boring unboxing that goes up. I'm going to be reviewing later this week some LogiQuest solo puzzles that Asmodee put out, the Catan, Ticket to Ride, Zip City, Shadow Glyphs. So that will be coming out later this week. We have all our live stuff like normals going up. When I'm done here today at 10 o'clock, so you'll be doing an app. I'll be doing later on at noon my Q&A, but I have extra live stuff. So tomorrow I'm going to be going through the Board Game Geek Top 100. I'm going to make this an annual practice where at the end of the year, take a look at the Top 100, seeing how it has changed and stuff over the past year. I'll be taking a look at 2021 games, kind of a general overview as we walk through those. And then Thursday and Friday, we're just going to be playing some games live here for a couple reasons. We're testing out the microphone system to get all that stuff ready for the Winter Spectacular. Thank you, Mike. I got Matthew's forgetfulness there. Metal to the metal. So we'll be doing that, and the other videos are going up over the course of this week too. So we got some stuff from Brian. Like I said, our live stuff, crowd surfing on Wednesday, Thursday, board game breakfast. So there's going to be stuff going up this week, so keep an eye out for all of that. Meanwhile, let's keep going.
Medieval Academy, it's a unique game which blends perfectly the mechanics of card drafting and management and strip them to the core. The game is streamlined, simple, but provides for a lot of fun. Players draft cards, play them to advance on different unique tracks, providing for different amount of victory points at different times and or unique abilities. At the end of 6 turns, the player with the most number of points wins the game. And the game comes also with an amazing 2-player variant, entailing even more tactic, because players, when they get their cards during the draft, they have to split them in 2 different piles, one of which will be picked by your opponent. Molly, how do you win Medieval Academy?
Well, in my opinion, the most important track is the gallantry track. At the end of your turn, you get to place an extra token on the board. And
then?
Yes. And then I think you shouldn't underestimate the jousts and tournaments, because they give you little points every turn, but they add up in the end. And I think it's the bread and butter of the game.
Bread and butter. Check it out, Medieval Academy.
Oddly enough, I was very close to doing a classic review of Medieval Academy this past week. I'm going to be doing one soon enough. I think it's a really solid game that should have been nominated for the Spiel des Jahres when it came out. It was not robbed, but it's a good game. All right, so every so often I travel for the Dice Tower. We go to different conventions in different places. When I do so, I go usually when I'm out of town. If I have a chance to, I'll go to a church that I don't normally go to. It's because I can't go to my church since it's here in down in Miami area. So when I go to a new church, I always go in and I feel like I'm somewhat of an outgoing person and I try to meet people and stuff. But every time when I come back home, I gather the people in my church and I say, listen, when new people come, we got to be really friendly to them. We got to say hi to them, because I just went there, no one talked to me at this church. No one said hi to me, or just the pastor did. Oh, it wasn't very good. And I like to bring that over because it's very similar. I have the same experience when I go visit game groups sometimes. Now, I'm coming from a perspective of I'm someone that people might possibly 1% chance know. If I walk into a game group, there's a possibility someone there has seen the Dice Tower. And if so, they'll be like, oh, I've seen a Dice Tower. And I'll be like, yeah, oh, it's cool. I'm glad you like to watch the show. And we have a connection. But if I don't have that connection at all, when I go to a game group for the first time, I don't think it can be emphasized enough how important that first impression is on the new person coming into the game group. So when someone comes in for the first time, whether they are a die-hard gamer or whether they're like, I like Scrabble and I decided to come to your game group, I think it's so critical how we treat that person. We need to treat them with respect. I mean, I think that should go without saying. We should treat them with friendliness, and we should involve them if at all possible. Find out what they like. See if we have a game that's similar to what they like. Get them into a game. If you're someone who tests new games out all the time and you play a garbage game with them, play a good game with them too. You know, to make up for that. Don't assume that they're there to play Terraforming Mars with all the expansions when they've never heard of it before. And if you have Carl in your group, and I apologize to all the marvelous Carls out there, I'm just using a random name. How about Billy Bob? I probably have a few of those watching the show. So if you have a Billy Bob in your group who is the most annoying gamer in your group, don't put new person at their table. In fact, do what you can to keep that from occurring. You want new person's opinion of the group to be good. Or if Billy Bob is at their table, then you jump in there and make the game as fun as you possibly can. It's just something I think about a lot because I don't think we think about it as much until we are the new person. Doing something new for the first time can be an overwhelming experience, whether it's a new job, going to a new place, meeting your neighbors for the first time. For some people, it's not that big of a deal. There's some very outgoing people. I consider myself to be somewhat of an extrovert, but even I can feel that trepidation when I go and the first time I'm somewhere, I'm like, ooh, I don't know anyone here. I don't know, what do I do now? Where do I go? And remember that when you people over. If you're ever coming down to the Homestead area or Miami area, email me at tom@dicestar.com. We'd love to have you over, and we hope that we're good hosts. I know that I probably haven't been the best host in the past, but I want that to be something that I can work on and improve. And I think it's something we need to think of all the time. We always talk about growing the hobby. I'm not so focused on that point. Like, I don't know that the hobby needs to grow. I want the hobby to grow in general, right? I don't think everyone needs to be a gamer, but I do want people to have good experiences with the hobby, and therefore it's a big deal for me when someone new comes to make that good impression on them.
This is a segment where we take a look at a board game based on an intellectual property, and I tell you if the IP and the mechanisms match. Today we have Five Nights at Freddy's Survive till 6 a.m. Let me show you a little bit about it, and I'll tell you if it fits. Then everybody's going to turn over the top card on their deck here. If it has a bad guy that comes out, then you will turn over an additional card until you have the last card without a bad guy on. So let's say I just want to roll 1. I could do 0, 1, or 2, and I want to try to block Foxy. So I'm going to roll this dice, and it came up with a 5, which means I would take 5 off of this. My power would go down a little bit, and I would take the bad guy, the animatronic, and I'd put him back in the deck he came from. Then I would activate the rest of the cards. So this card does nothing. This card has +5 if I roll the dice. If I wouldn't have rolled the dice for the cards, then this would not have activated, but it says +5. So this card actually has a down arrow, which means I take the top card, and I have to do whatever it is. This one would go here because it's nothing. So this card would go into my discard. And then this card has an arrow moving to the left, just one space. So I take the top card and move it down here. So potentially what I've done is, I've moved a worthless card, but it could have been a bad guy for all that we know. When the last turn has been taken, then whoever has the most power will win the game. Or if an animatronic gets to here, that player will lose, or if somebody gets down to 0 power, the player will lose. This is a rare game where the IP that's based off of fits perfectly with a board game. I really feel the dread I have from playing the video game. This fits perfectly. This is a really fun game that blew my mind. And I understand a lot of these IP games are not very good. This is a really, really fun game that we had a blast with. And that dread you have from the animatronics just inching forward on you is in this game, and this is probably, in my opinion, better than the video game. I feel like the video game was a little esoteric, it was a little bit out there, took some patience. This video game nabs that feeling, condenses it down to a short 15-minute game, and it was really, really fun. Check this one out for sure. It's a great match.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Dave Luza.
And I'm Ilka Luza, and we're back.
Yes.
We're back at Board Game Breakfast.
Yes, we are back. We've been busy with life and stuff, but we are back with. We're not pitching any games. We're just showing off some games.
We're just showing our excitement for games, and today's game is this one.
High Score. It's a Rainer Knizia game. It's brand new by our friends of Cosmos.
And it's awesome. This is what it looks like. It's a push your luck game with varying rules. You play 7 rounds with different cards, and they will tell you what to do. In this case,
this card, for example, tells us the swirl, that's instead of the 6s on the dice, will give us 10 points. You can roll 4 times all dice, so you cannot freeze them. You can't. It's all or nothing. Keep it or try again.
Which is what I love about this.
This is this assignment definitely. The game comes with loads of different assignment cards. Each card works differently. Points you'll gain for dice that add up to 10 together. Every die that does not add up to 10 in total will lose you points. Ilka, would you like to try?
We play for gold, silver, and bronze, as you can see. So I cannot do anything. So this is 10, 20. So this is 17 points right off the bat.
It's pretty good.
Which I'm going to keep.
Nice.
Yes. Dave is going to now try to beat my score. Always the start player sets the goal, and then the other players have to
10.
break that.
20 minus 5. So this is not
15,
enough.
not enough.
I will have to try again. I can roll up to 4 times and see what comes out of it. But that is High Score. Other assignments.
Let's pretend you lost this round.
Yeah, let's pretend that. In this case, the swirl will be frozen, so you cannot re-roll them, and they count as 0. And this means that we need to keep 1 die from every roll and then keep rolling until we're done. And this means just the highest points.
Which is what I love. So I have to freeze this one. I'm going to leave the 5 because it's a high number.
And that is how you play High Score. It's really a fun game, and we got a lot of enjoyment out of it. You play 7 of those cards each round, and the game comes with 21. So,
and in the end, Dave wins. Basically.
My name is Dave.
My name is Ilka Luza.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So this weekend I got my booster shot for the vaccine, which I figured might take me out for a day, so I wait till Friday afternoon to get it. And it did take me out for much of Saturday. So sadly I had to play on my PlayStation. So I had the PS5, and which is, by the way, incidentally, the last time I ever buy a new system. I know it's a year old now, but good grief. Anyhow, so it was on sale. Yay! Very cheap, like 15 bucks. So I bought, again, a game that I played before that's now 10 years old. Yeah, I give them a lot of money, I guess. But anyway, it was a lot of fun. And I've really been enjoying the new version. So they made an Anniversary Edition. Oh, it's Skyrim. Thanks. Sorry. I thought I said Skyrim. I did not. Good thing Mike's here. So Skyrim, the Anniversary Edition for the PlayStation 5. Now, I really like Skyrim. I've liked all the Elder Scrolls games that I played. I don't think I ever played the very first one, but I played the second, third, fourth, and Skyrim. And I've enjoyed all of them. And they've, in my opinion, consistently got better. This one includes both of the expansions, which are both really good for Skyrim, and so they're just automatically included. And it includes a bunch of new stuff, which is mostly fishing. Fishing is not nearly as exciting as I thought it might be. Okay, that's a lie, because I didn't think fishing would be exciting, because fishing in real life isn't exciting. Woo! Bring on the hate! Okay, but in this game, you literally just throw your fishing pole in, pull stuff out, pull stuff out, pull stuff out. I guess for Animal Crossing lovers, you can now play Skyrim too. But anyway, one thing I did notice on the PS5, those load screens are gone. I mean, you go from one spot to another, load screen's gone instantly. That's amazing, and I really like that aspect of the game. I added in a bunch of mods because I'd like to see new stuff and more monsters and things like that. And they actually have their own official mods that they have now in this Creators Club nonsense thingamabobber, which I thought was fun and added more stuff and more in-depth to the game. So I spent a good chunk of my time playing it. on Saturday and yesterday and Friday, and let's not judge because Skyrim is a very addicting game, and I'll play it for a while till I get bored of it. I progressed on the main quest. Almost none at all. I get caught up in mini side quests, or I just walk around and just see what stuff I can collect and do. I'm a master alchemist at this point in time with a good bow and arrow, and occasionally I decapitate somebody. All in a good day's fun. If you never played Skyrim before, it's a good way to jump on board. It is nice to see that a 10-year-old game still holds its own. Although seriously, can we have the sequel now? How long do I have to wait? But I did really enjoy it a lot, and I like on the powerful system, it's really nice that how smooth it flows. Yes, the people still talk stilted. The way that people move is weird. There's errors and mistakes in the game, but for the most part, I found it to be very enjoyable. So Skyrim, in my top 10 video games of all time.
Hi, I'm Jordan, and this year a lot of really great games have come out, but probably the most unique game that I have played is Picture Perfect. Now, Picture Perfect is a unique game in its theming, of course, so it's going to have, you are a photographer, and you are trying to position everybody for a family portrait in such a way that's going to make everybody as happy as possible. But each person has their own opinions, just like family members do, about whether you like certain people, or maybe you do like certain people, or maybe you're just not wild about plants. You never know how this is going to work out. So in this, you're going to be almost Clue style, having these little envelopes of cards that you're going to be passing around, and everybody's collecting this information that you have to remember and retain, and put the people on this kind of grid board about where they want to be. Who do they want to be covering or standing in front of? Who do they want to be next to? Who don't they want to be next to? Maybe they don't like this person, they want that person to be blocked, and they want to be front and center in the picture. So everybody's going to have these different opinions, and as the photographer, you have to make sure that, you know, their wishes are met. And so it is very unique in its theming, but also unique in how it plays, because it is at its core a deduction game, but you're collecting this information slowly. And even though everybody is kind of getting very similar information throughout the whole game, at the end of it, everybody's photo, you actually take a picture at the end, everybody's photo is going to look different. And I think that's really cool. That's Picture Perfect. This is definitely an interesting game to check out. I really enjoyed this one. I'm Jordan. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Jonathan Hicks from Boardgame Opinions, and this week's gaming tip is a strategy tip for Istanbul. Now, Istanbul won the Kennerspiel, the German strategy game of the year, a few years ago, and it's a fantastic game. I highly recommend it. If you've not played it yet, then do give it a go. It's a classic, I think, at this stage. In the game, you are travelling around the markets of Istanbul in an attempt to acquire rubies. Now, the first person to get 5 rubies wins the game. It's essentially a race. Now, there's a couple of different strategies you can take. You can try and get goods from various places like the Spice Warehouse and then trade them in at the Sultan's Palace to get rubies. You can sell your goods for money and then try and buy them at the gemstone dealer. But there's another important way to try and get rubies. And this is my strategy tip. What you should do is go for the mosques. There are 2 mosques in the game, the small mosque and the great mosque. And at the mosques, when you go there, you trade in some goods. You need to acquire some goods first, and you get a special ability. But if you get both the special ability tiles from the mosque, then you get a gem as well. So not only will going to the mosque give you special abilities, which makes you more powerful, makes it easier to do everything else you need to do in the game, but you're also getting gems, and you can get 2 gems quite quickly by just going straight for those mosques. Now, it's also a race to a certain extent, because the cost in goods to get these special ability tiles increases the more people get them, so you want to really get there early. But if you can get those special ability tiles before anyone else, you'll have a huge head start over everybody else, and then you can use those special abilities to get the last 3 gems that you need, whether that's at the Sultan's Palace, at the gemstone dealer, or possibly by upgrading your cart at the Wainwright. Alright, that's my strategy tip for Istanbul. Try it next time if you've not tried it before. I'll see you next week.
Tron! All right, folks, thanks so much for watching another Board Game Breakfast. Yes, I know there's a sequel to Skyrim coming. I've been checking up on it, but it's going to take 100 million years. Remember all the stuff I mentioned at the beginning of the episode? If you're just tuning in now, you haven't seen all the stuff at the beginning of the episode, so come back. We'll be live here in half an hour or 25 minutes with Z doing What's Happening, and then I'll be live here at noon doing a Q&A, and then we got live stuff happening all week long. So come back and join us for all that live stuff that's happening all week long, which is a pale shadow of next week, the Winter Spectacular. We'll see you then. Thanks so much for watching. Until then, I'm Tom Vasel. You've been watching Board Game Breakfast on the Dice Tower. Thanks, contributors.
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Tune in each week for your daily dose of gaming goodness with Tom Vasel and all the gang. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast, a Dice Tower production.